When most people think of tequila, they think of two things. One, a really bad Saturday night, or Mexico. We're combining the Mexican side of it with this one. We're doing a little salsa, which involves apple, tequila, and mint. A combination you probably wouldn't have thought of to go into a salsa, but this is a really yummy one. And tequila is surprisingly used quite a bit in curing and in salsas and in preservations in Mexico. So it goes into quite a lot of salsas. It's not just a drink that destroys your Saturday night. First thing we're going to do is toast off some pecans. Now pecans are used a lot in South America and also in North America. So I've just got a cup of pecans. You can crush them up if you want to, or you can put them in whole like that. Now in America, they would put a tablespoon of butter in there, a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. I'm not a huge fan of that. So if you want to, put a tablespoon of butter, put it on top, sprinkle some sugar, sprinkle some salt. I'm just going to put some salt and toast them as they are. So they go into the oven. 180 degrees, and all we're doing is toasting them so that they're nice and crunchy, because that is the texture on top of our salsa. Everything else is really simple, it just goes into a bowl pretty much. So tomatoes, we've got some cherry tomatoes which I've quartered, pop them into a bowl. I've got some red onion, probably half a red onion which I've diced quite finely. Then juice of a whole lime. Then I've got some chili, red chili, which has been de-seeded and diced. I've got a white onion, half of a white onion which we've diced up. I'll give that a nice mix. Start to bring everything together. Then in with that, some avocado, which we'll chop in half, take the stone out of, and then I'm going to dice it in the skin. So this is the best way to do it. Run your knife through it. So you're using the skin to keep everything together. Make sure you get a nice ripe avocado. So you're looking for one that has a black skin on the outside, because that means it's closer to being super ripe. Then turn it around, run your knife through it again, and it will come out of the skin diced, ready to go into your salsa. You won't have to dice it and get your fingers messy. Pop your spoon in, scoop it out, and your avocado is nicely diced. Do the same with the other one. Take the stone out, run your knife through it. So as I said, tequila is not just a drink in Mexico. It's used quite a lot in cooking, especially things like salsas, where you've got lots of sort of tropical-ish flavors going on. Tequila goes really well with it. But one thing I will say, if you are going to use it in something like a salsa, get a good quality tequila. You want it to be something that you would enjoy drinking. So you want a reasonably well-aged one and a really well-made one. Okay, so you've got a nice mixture of color, flavor, texture happening there. And now an apple, which I'm just going to dice as well. So the sweetness of the apple is going to be beautiful with the tequila and with everything else that's in that salsa. So I've just run my knife through it both ways, like you're dicing an onion, and then pop my little apple batons or diced pieces of apple in there as well. So then in with that, some mint. I just want to pick some nice mint leaves to go in with our salsa. So just put your knife through them. You could just tear these or crush them to release the aromas. Some coriander. Take a handful of coriander, stalks and all. Same thing, I'll just roughly run my knife through my coriander and then pop that in. I definitely need some salt, so a good pinch of salt. I'll need some cracked pepper. Give that a mix. And now my tequila and my oil, and that's pretty much the salsa done, apart from that crunch on the top with our pecans once they come out. So about a tablespoon of tequila. And remember, as I said, pick a good one. This is Corralejo. It's one that we have when we're in Mexico. It's a beautiful tequila. It's really gentle So it is a good one to use for cooking. Give that a mix through. I'll give this a taste, and I want to make sure I'm getting all the flavors. There's no use of putting all those ingredients in there if you can't taste each ingredient. Oh, that is awesome. That is so good. Perfect. Doesn't need anything else. No more tequila, no more lime, nothing. Everything that I want to have in there is there. All I need now is a little bit of oil because the flavor there is really good. Something like oil helps carry that flavor. So oil is a carrier of flavor across your palate. So a little bit of lemon oil. About probably half the amount of acid that you put in. So we put in all up probably 2 tablespoons of the lime juice. So you want a tablespoon of oil. Give that another mix. All right, into a bowl. Pile it up nice and high. Remember pecans, once they come out of the oven, crush them and put them on top for some texture. But that is just an insanely good salsa. That's what a salsa tastes like in Mexico. So if you've heard all these stories about Mexican food, and it's too far away to travel to get there, that is what a good salsa on a beach in Mexico tastes like. So if you want to find out what that experience is like on the beach in Mexico, eating a salsa, which is made with tequila, make this recipe. So I would serve that like that, with some corn chips next to it. You might have a sneaky one of those. And that is my perfect food. If I had to pick one thing I had to eat, that is what you'd send me.